ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, my dear devotees. I welcome you to our weekly reading from speaking about Varnashrama Dharma. Today is March 29th. Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Kavita.
Hare Krishna.
So today is March 29th, 2025. And we are going to start a new chapter today. We completed the chapter False Wealth or Real Wealth last weekend. So today's will be Varnashrama to Save a Troubled World. So this is going to be from a morning walk, or it is called Varnashrama walk. And this was in Vrindavan, India on March 12th, 1974. So I'll just share the screen with you and we will start reading. Okay. Varnashrama to save a troubled world. And what are the topics that will be covered in this? Every ISKCON center should be a Varnashrama college. Leadership means to see which man is situated to which work and to engage every resource properly. It is a sign of mismanagement if people are not inspired to work. Varnashrama management will end unemployment and famine. This is a very, very important chapter. Every ISKCON center should be a Varnashram college. So things that we hear in our classes, this is not just somebody's idea or plan. This is directly Srila Prabhupada's Vani. Srila Prabhupada is saying every ISKCON center should be a Varnashrama college. Leadership means to see which man is situated for which work. That means what is each person's nature, who is qualified for what, or what is each person's nature, and then assigning him work accordingly. To engage every resource properly. So, in people also and in materials also, how to engage all resources that are available, how to engage these resources properly. So if you are engaging someone not according to their nature, then they will not be inspired to work because that is not their nature. So it is a sign of mismanagement if people are not inspired to work. If you see that they are not working and if they are being lazy or, they're not inspired basically to do work, that means whose fault is that? It is the fault of the management. It is a sign of mismanagement. if people are not inspired to work. Okay. Varnashrama management will end unemployment and famine. So there won't be any unemployment if we bring this Varnashram system. These are the topics that will be covered in this. So let us start reading. As I told you, this is a morning walk, so it will be in the form of a dialogue between Srila Prabhupada and his disciples. So this is a Varnashrama walk. Varnashrama walk. So you can start reading. Would you like to read?
Yes, Mataji, I'll read.
Kavita Mataji, please go ahead.
Srila Prabhupada की जय. Srila Prabhupada द्वारा Srila Prabhupada के शिष्यों के द्वारा Prabhupada, the politician, business will be the exploit the poor citizens, and they will be embarrassed and harassed so much. By one side, no sufficient rain and therefore scarcity of food, and the other side taxation of the government. In this way, the people will be much harassed that they will give up their home and go to the forest. Very pitiful, very pitiful. Unless they take the Krishna consciousness, they will not be saved. The Varnashram College has to be established immediately. Everywhere, wherever we go, we have got our center. A Varnashram College should be established to train four divisions and class: Brahmans and class Kshatriya and class Vaishya, and one class Shudra. But everyone will be elevated to the spiritual platform by the spiritual activities which we have prescribed. There is no inconvenience even for the Shudras. Uh, Pastor boy,
Passerby. So you can picture this is Vrindavan. So someone is passing by and they're saying Jai. Okay, Jai.
Goodbye. Jai, Jai, Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, Bhagavan. Hare, Shudra supposed to take sannyas also, Prabhupada. No. Why? Bhagavan. Sudras, Prabhupada. Those who are Sudras should not be allowed to take sannyas. Only those who are qualified Brahmans will be allowed to take sannyas. Bhagavan. Kshatriyas used to take sannyas too. Prabhupada, Kshatriya, some of them, not all. Guru Das, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Prabhupada, yeah, Guru, Guru Das, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Prabhupada, they did not take sannyas, but they left home. There is no need of accepting sannyas. One has to perform the devotional activities, that is real thing. Simply by changing his dress, one does not improve unless he takes the seriously principle of devotional service. But in the Kali Yuga, they will think, because I have changed my dress, I have become a big sannyasi. You see, uh, because I have got a
Sacred.
sacred thread. Now I am a Brahman. No, there must be regular training. Hare Krishna. Jagadish, Srila Prabhupada. In a Varnashram society
Mataji,
is
we can first discuss this part because this will start another section. 1 second. So here, important. Srila Prabhupada is saying, so this is, Srila Prabhupada is saying, the business of the politicians will be to exploit the poor citizens. And the citizens will be so harassed because of the exploitation. Politicians means the leaders, political leaders, the government, administration. So the people, the citizens will become so embarrassed and harassed by the leaders that why they're harassed? On one side, there is no sufficient rain. Do you remember when we were reading not the last session, but the session before that, how all our necessities can be fulfilled. How can our necessities be fulfilled if we wanted? So basically we need food. Where do we get food from? We get food from land. And what else do you need to grow food? You need rains. Where do rains come from? By performance of yagya, rains will come. And what is yagya? When you do your prescribed duties, that is yagya. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhava. Yagyad bhavati parjanyo yagya karma samudbhavaha. That means anna is required for the maintenance of body, and this anna is coming by rains. When there is rains, then food is grown, and rain comes by performance of yagya, and this yagya is born by prescribed duties. So when we do our prescribed duties, then we will get food. So now people are being harassed because there is no food. There is no food, so people are becoming harassed. Why there is no food? You can connect now. Why there is no food? Because there is no rain. Huh? Is it better if I use like a, would you prefer if I used a blackboard to show? Maybe it'll be, you'll be able to picture it better. 1 second. I'll just. Okay, let me share the screen now. You're able to see the screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So this is Varnashrama walk. March 19. Okay. March 1974, March 12th. Okay. So I'm saying you need food grains. Food grains are needed for sustenance, for living. How do you get food grains? For food grains, what do you need? Food grains are coming from rain. Rain is coming from what? Rain is coming by performance of yagya. And what is yagya? Yagya is born of prescribed duties. So, what is prescribed duties? Brahmana, that is Varnashram duties. Prescribed duties means Varnashram duties. Varnashram duties. This is prescribed duties. So, all types of living beings, whether animals or human beings, everyone needs food grains for survival. And when you have, that is why what is in the previous class, we discussed what is real wealth. Is money real wealth? Paper currency, is that real wealth? No. Real wealth is land. So from land, you get food grains. So your wealth is actually, and also not real estate business. Land is not, a wealth means simply accumulating land and keeping. No. Land which is cultivated to produce food grains, that is actually wealth, food grains, and cattle. Because from cattle, you get milk and milk products. So your economic problem is solved. So now, today we are reading that the citizens are harassed. Why they are harassed? Citizens are harassed by the politicians. Why? Because there is no rains. Why there are no rains? What is the connection? Actually, no rains, no. Their thing is no food grains. They don't have food. There is famine, right? No food. No food grains. So what is the connection between food grains and varnashram duties? Food grains will come when there is sufficient rain, but there is no rains. There is famine. Why there is no rain? Because there is no yagyas. Yagya means people are not doing their particular dharma according to Shastra. Varnashrama dharma is not being performed. So that is the connection. So now, if we go back to what we were reading, see, the citizens, poor citizens, they are embarrassed and harassed so much. Why? On one side, there is no sufficient rain. No sufficient rain means there is scarcity of food. There's no sufficient food. So they are starving. There's no rain, there's no food, and they're starving. And on top of that, now they have to pay heavy taxes to the government. This is called cheating. This is cheating. Srila Prabhupada said that actually there should be just one type of tax. It's not like you have sales tax, income tax, house tax, this tax, that. No. There's only one type of tax. What is the system? Srila Prabhupada said, I'll show you. Taxation means tax. You have to pay 25% of the profit you make. That's all. Profit, not whatever income you make. No. 25% of the profit you make. That is the tax you have to pay. And that's all. Once you pay 25% of the profit, then there's no need of any other taxes. And if you don't make any profit, let's say you are doing farming, there's no grains produced, for example, no rains, so then there are no grains, or you just made enough, there's break even, whatever you have invested, you got that much. Then Srila Prabhupada says there's no tax that year. You don't have to pay any tax. If you didn't make any profit, you don't have to pay any tax. You pay a tax on the excess amount that you have produced, more than what you need. Whatever you have invested, on top of that, whatever profit you have made, 25% of the profit of your savings you give as tax. Isn't that a reasonable system? Whereas in the current situation, you go to hell, you starve to death, it doesn't matter. You have to pay taxes. If you have not paid your tax, then you are illegal, you're a criminal. You'll be punished for that. You'll be charged. So because of, on one hand, there is no food grains because there's no rains. And on the other hand, the government is acting like plunderers, just sucking out. Even if you don't have, beg, borrow, or steal, but pay your tax. With this, the citizens are becoming so, harassed that they leave homes and they go to the forest. This is what is going to happen in Kali Yuga. It is already said in the Shastra. So the business of politicians will be, that's why they're called Dasyu. Dasyu means plunderers. The business of politicians will be to exploit poor citizens. They will be embarrassed and harassed so much. By one side, no sufficient rain. Therefore, there is scarcity of food. Without rain, there is scarcity of food. And on the other side, taxation by the government. In this way, people will be so much harassed that they will give up their home and go to the forest. Because they are not able to take care of their families. Or so many farmers we will see, right? There's no proper direction. The farmers, just to get more produce, they use some synthetic fertilizers, which are very, very costly. And then in hope that because of this, I will get, a bumper crop. And what happens is, because of some particular pest or disease, the whole crop is finished. Now he ends up with a debt to pay for all those costly fertilizers and pesticides that he has used. He cannot pay. So many farmers each year, they commit suicide. Many farmers, they just commit suicide because of this embarrassment. How am I going to pay all this? They end up with a big debt and still they have to pay their taxes. They have to pay and they're not able to maintain. This is called being embarrassed and leaving. So either they end their lives or they just leave home and they just go to the forest. So Srila Prabhupada is saying this is a very pitiable condition. So, very pitiful. Unless they take to Krishna consciousness, they will not be saved. What is the solution now? What is the solution in this condition? The Varnashram college has to be established immediately. Just try to understand the seriousness. When was this said? Right? This is not just one morning walk where Srila Prabhupada is saying. Many places about Varnashram college, Srila Prabhupada says. This is in 1974 March. Now we are in March 2025. How many years? 50 years? More than 50 years? Yes? This was said in 74 and now we are in 25. And then in 74, Srila Prabhupada said, this will happen. It is already happening and it will get only worse. The situation of the citizens, it's only going to get worse. There is only one solution. Unless they take to Krishna consciousness, they will not be saved. The Varnashram college has to be established immediately. Everywhere, wherever we have got our center. So we have ISKCON centers, new temples are also opening all over the world in different places. What is the purpose of an ISKCON center? Is it sufficient to have deity worship and then Sundays all the devotees come and gather, attend the Sunday feast program, listen to some katha little bit, and then have feast and socialize with other devotees, and then go back to their lives for the rest of the week? Is this sufficient? Is this going to solve the problem of the world? No. It has to be Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. It has to tivra bhakti. Once a week you go to the temple and for 1 hour you're there. That is not sufficient. It has to be intense bhakti has to be there. It has, we all want to come to Shuddha Bhakti. Shuddha Bhakti means Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. This means 24/7 you should be engaged. Your desires should be only to serve Krishna 24/7, your desire and your actions also. By that, once a week going for 1 hour, and in that also so much socialization and all that, how you are going to get Tivra Bhakti? You should go there once a week to get some inspiration. But when you come home, you have to practice that. And for you to practice like that, you need association of other devotees. Without association on our own, we are not going to be able to do it. Especially when we are the rest of the day, what we are doing throughout the day. We are associating with non-devotees at our workplace, in our business, in schools. Who are we associating with? Our colleagues, our co-students. They are not devotees. You're not associating with devotees all day long. All your work, everything is related with non-devotees. And what is the goal of the non-devotees? Make more money, material success, material prosperity, competition. And being in this atmosphere, certainly we are also going to be affected by that. Especially if you're working for them. You have a master, an employer, a company whose goals are materialistic goals. They want to get more and more material results, more wealth, and you are working for them. That will be expected from you also. No, willingly or unwillingly, you will also get sucked into that system. So all day throughout the week, we are in this consciousness, how to earn more and how to pay this is embarrassment. This is harassment. I'm not able to pay my bills. I have to pay the tuition fee for the children. I have this and that. For that, I have to work and I have so much demand from the boss. I have to fulfill. right? I have to complete this project, in anxiety all the time. And that anxiety is not for Krishna. Taking anxiety for Krishna consciousness is good. That is Krishna consciousness. That's wonderful, actually. If you're taking anxiety, how to spread Krishna consciousness, how to engage more and more people in serving Krishna, that anxiety is Krishna conscious anxiety. But is that the anxiety that devotees are facing when they're going and working in the companies outside or in, other organizations? No, that's not the anxiety they're facing. Their anxiety is how to fulfill their goals, to get more results, material results, more wealth, to fill their pockets so that I can get my little maintenance with which I can survive in this world. So that is why it's a very, very pitiable condition. Don't think this is just for those farmers that Prabhupada is talking about. You, me, all of us are in this system. We are all in this system. Being embarrassed. Now, here we are all ladies sitting here. So you may think, oh, that may be no, but we are under the men. So we will also be affected by that situation. And the children also will be affected. The whole family will be affected. The source of income cannot be from work which is involved in the modes of passion and ignorance. This type of work will keep us in the modes of passion and ignorance. And coming to the temple once a week and for 1 hour or 2 hours being there and going back, that is good a little bit, like it is better than nothing, right? But that is not all. We want to be Krishna conscious 24/7. Day and night, we should have service which is keeping us Krishna conscious all the time. And that Krishna consciousness also has to be done only for the pleasure of Krishna, not because of any other material or material goals or goals for liberation. No. And that devotional service should not be interrupted by any other karma or jnana. Continuously, you should be able to perform devotional service. That is the beginning of Shuddha Bhakti. So, then how to get there? What is Srila Prabhupada saying? Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee. He's the Acharya, right? So Srila Prabhupada didn't say, yes, now all of you sit and chant 24 hours. All of you start chanting, this is pure devotional service. Did Srila Prabhupada say that? Because we are not qualified for that. So Srila Prabhupada said, chant at least 16 rounds. You chant at least 16 rounds. But the rest of the time, what should you do? What is Srila Prabhupada saying here for the problem? The problem is people are harassed by by the leaders. The harassment is there's no food, there's no grains. And on the other hand, there's heavy taxation. What is the solution? You should start Varnashram college immediately. This Krishna consciousness has to be. See, I'll show you one more time. First, Srila Prabhupada is saying that unless they take to Krishna consciousness, they will not be saved. Now, you have to translate that. What does it mean? Taking to Krishna consciousness means what? Taking to Krishna consciousness means coming to that standard of being able to do 24 hours direct devotional service. That is Krishna conscious. That's the standard. Like that's the beginning of Shuddha Bhakti. Unless you take to Krishna consciousness, you will not be saved. But how to get there? The Varnashram college has to be established immediately. What I'm trying to impress upon you is the connection between Varnashrama and Shuddha Bhakti. We shouldn't think that directly I will make a high jump or a long jump from working in the modes of passion and ignorance. Directly I will take a lift and directly I will jump to pure devotional service. That may happen for, that's not expected. Just be realistic. When you have small children, do you expect them to jump, like take 4 steps at a time and climb the stairs? No, you help them step by step. So same way, the way to come to that standard of Krishna consciousness is Varnashrama. So the Varnashrama college has to be established immediately. Everywhere Wherever we have got our center, a Varnashrama college should be established. And again, another thing is we think Varnashrama college means, okay, let's see. What is your idea of Varnashrama in ISKCON? Okay, what do you think? As soon as you hear about Varnashram in your particular, from what you observe, what comes to your mind when you talk about Varnashrama? As soon as you hear Varnashrama, what comes to your mind? What are we supposed to do? Please tell me, give me some input. What comes to your mind when you hear Varnashrama in our present society, in our present situation? What comes to your mind with whatever background you have? Farms and cows, very good. Yes, Sanskriti Mataji, go ahead.
Hare
Farming,
Krishna.
Mataji. Farming,
Mataji,
growing
One
banana
second, Kavita
trees.
Mataji. 1 second. She raised her hand. Sanskriti Mataji, yeah, go ahead.
Mataji, when I hear about Varnashram, I think of proper social structure where people are working according to their nature. And when that Varnashram is associated with devotion, then the people who are in different Varnas, they are all Krishna conscious. And in this way, whatever work they are doing, they can become fully Krishna conscious actually. So they don't need to be enslaved under any other person who is a non-devotee. And in this way, like a perfect community can be formed so that the devotees can live peacefully. Otherwise, they will be away from material contamination.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. But thank you very much. So that is where we want to be. But like Kavita Mataji, go ahead. What were you saying?
Like farming, growing bananas, some vegetables.
Yeah, that's true, actually. When we hear in our, like the present society, as soon as you hear about Varnashrama, devotees are doing some Varnashrama, what is the first thing that you hear? Oh, that means it's a farm community where you grow your food, maybe. And food also not necessarily you're growing your rice and dal and oils and everything, not necessarily. Maybe you grow some vegetables and you have a cow, and this is Varnashrama, we think. But like Sanskriti Mataji said, Varnashrama is not just about the Vaishyas. It's not just about agriculture and farming. Although agriculture and farming is the basis, you need that. Because Annat Bhavanti Bhutani, everyone needs food. That is why the Brahmanas are called the head, Vaishyas are called the arms, Kshatriyas are called the belly, and Vaishyas are called the belly, and Shudras are called the legs of a society. This is a Varnashram society. In a Varnashram society, Brahmanas are the head, Kshatriyas are the arms, Vaishyas are the belly, Shudras are the legs. So Vaishyas are the ones that are going to fill the bellies of all the people because they produce food. So you need food. All living entities, the subsistence of all living entities, all species of life, whether animals or humans, they need food, anna. So therefore, Vaishyas are important, certainly. Agriculture is important for everyone, whether you're Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, everyone needs food. And you need cows, because if you have land and cows, then your economic problem is solved. And then you have sufficient time to practice Krishna consciousness, no doubt. But is that all? When you say Varnashram, does it mean only grow your food and keep some cows? Is that all? No. Tell me what problems will come if in a society, if you have only Vaishyas, where there is only, uh, farming and cow protection. What problems can come? Yes, Sanskriti Mataji.
Mataji, can you please repeat the question?
I said, if in a society, just like Kavita Mataji said just now, and even my daughter was saying, Rasapriya was saying, when we think about Varnashrama, what comes to our mind is farming and cows, right? Mataji said, like growing some bananas or, some vegetables, and we think this is varnashrama. So if that is the situation, as soon as, even generally, even anytime I talk about varnashrama, the first impression that the people get is that, oh, that means I have to go and I have to, start working in the mud, and I have to start planting and growing food. That's what varnashrama means. But varnashrama is not just about growing food, I said. If we say that having our own farm communities, meaning varnashrama society, if we say varnashrama society means a farm community. We have farm communities in ISKCON. We have many farm communities in ISKCON. But do we actually have a varnashrama society? That is the question here. We have farm communities where we grow food. But do we have varnashrama societies? I'm asking you, Sanskrit Mataji, if we had
No,
only farming and no actual division of 4 varnas, what problems can come?
Mataji, what I think is like if we have farming community, so farming community basically belongs to Vaishya community. So it means only one community is getting dominant. So there is no Brahman, Kshatriya, and Shudra. So there will be no other community. So in this way, what will happen? That the people who are not like we choose our one according to our nature. So there are people who cannot do farming, who wants to become Brahmana, wants to become Kshatriya. So what will happen that if Varnashram is only growing a community, then these people, they will become isolated. They cannot become part of Varnashram society. Like what happened before, like Varnashram was also there in our history also. But what happened that Brahmana and Kshatriya, they became so much dominant that Vaishya and Shudra, they decided to choose Jainism and Buddhism. They thought that Brahman and Kshatriyas, they are becoming too much dominant and they are not getting place. So this discrimination we can face, and in this way, this integration will take place in our community.
Very nice, Mataji. Very nice. So the others understood what Sanskriti Mataji said. I will just repeat it quickly. Very, very valid point. Mataji said that, you see, there are people they have a particular swabhava. Naturally means it's coming from the modes only. But all of us have, we have since, anadi. Anadi means since beginningless. We have accumulated karma. So based on that karma, we have a particular swabhava. So this is by the influence of the modes, we have a particular swabhava. These varnas are also based on that swabhava only. So someone who is in goodness, he has the swabhava of a brahmana. Someone who is in passion, he has the swabhava of a kshatriya. Someone in passion and ignorance has the swabhava of a vaishya. Someone who is in ignorance has the swabhava of a shudra. So if there is only one varna in a society, and if that society, let's say, I asked, what if it is only farming? That means farming means Vaishyas. If there's only Vaishyas, then what problems will come? Mataji is saying that if only one group becomes prominent, that means there's only one opportunity. Everyone's swabhava won't be only farming. Society means just like when you say a body, can you have a body simply? When you say a body, body means only belly. There's no head, no hands, no legs, there's only belly. All that body can do is eat. That's all. Can you have a body like that? Will that be a successful body? Can it? No, it won't be. Body means it should have head, it should have arms, it should have belly, it should have legs. Then it is actually functioning, a proper body. So society which has only one, you can say either head, or only belly, or only legs, or only arms, it's not a complete body. There will be problems. So she's saying that what about the people whose nature is not to farm, who are not Vaishyas by nature? That means they don't have any opportunity to grow there. They don't have any opportunity to live in that society. Everyone has a particular nature, but they don't have any scope in that society. Then what will happen? So Mataji gave the example of when there was the Smarta Brahmanas, they became dominant in society. So there were only Brahmanas in society, and these Brahmanas, they did not allow the others to perform their particular duties. They took the monopoly by not giving Vedic knowledge to distributing Vedic knowledge to everyone. The goal of this Varnashram is to bring us to spiritual advancement. So you have different types of Varnashrama. You have Karmi Varnashrama, you have impersonal Varnashrama, and you have Daiva Varnashrama. I will just share the screen, write that for you. See, all of you are familiar with this diagram, aren't you? So this here on top, this is the goal. What is the goal? The goal is Param Tattvam, or you can say absolute truth. Okay, absolute truth. You want to reach the absolute truth. Absolute truth is realized in two forms, as either Nirvishesha Brahman or the other one is Savishesha. Savishesha means with form. It can be either Paramatma or Bhagavan. So that is the goal of life. Goal of life is to reach the absolute truth. Absolute truth is can be realized in two forms, either as Nirvishesha or Savishesha. Nirvishesha means Brahman. Savishesha means it can be either Paramatma or Bhagavan. So then for that, the path that you're going to take to reach. So where are you? All of us, we are here at the bottom. Okay, we are here at the bottom. 1 second, let me just do it properly. This is where we are at. So to reach the absolute truth and realize the absolute truth as Brahman, the path that you take is called Jnana Yoga. And to reach the absolute truth in Savishesha form, the path that you take is called Bhakti Yoga. So this is the path that we are taking, Bhakti Yoga. Or someone can take the path of Jnana Yoga. But this is where one does Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is the entry door that takes one to either Bhakti Yoga or Jnana Yoga. Which path you take depends on the association you get. If you get the association of a Jnani, then you'll take the Jnana Yoga. If you get the association of a Bhakta, you'll take to Bhakti Yoga. Okay, that is fine. But where does this Varnashrama come? Varnashrama is this part only, here when we are doing this Karma Yoga. This is the Varnashrama section. So the question here is, this Varnashrama, I'll draw that bigger here. This Karma Yoga section is further divided. Here you can have a Karmi. And this is, so the top one is Karma Yoga and bottom is Karmi. In Karma Yoga, you have Nishkama Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma Yoga. And the other one is Daiva Varnashrama. So these are all Varnashrama societies. What I'm telling you is, we are talking about Varnashrama society here. So these are all Varnashrama societies. This society is called a Karmi Varnashram. Karmi Varnashram society. This society here is called impersonal Varnashram society. And this, of course, is a Daiva Varnashram society. So Varnashram society can also be of different types. Here we have 3 types of Varnashram society. And there's one more here, right? This is called regular. 4 you can say. Regular Varnashram society. Okay? So you can say 4. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 3. And this is 4. So each one has a different goal. How are you deciding? How are you classifying this Varnashrama? Based on the goal. So what is the goal of a Karmi Varnashram? What is the goal of a Karmi Varnashram society? What, by following the duties of their particular Varna and Ashram, what do they want to achieve at the end? Do you know?
Material desires, Mataji?
Yes.
Material.
Yeah, fulfillment of material desires. That's all. They want material advancement, either in this life or next life. In this life, you want some material advancement, or by following your dharma, or you want to go to Swarga in your next life, like that. So material advancement. What about impersonal Varnashrama? What is their goal? Goal of impersonal Varnashrama is?
Brahman realization.
Yes, moksha. They want moksha. Go and merge into Brahman, Brahma Prapti. That's the goal of impersonal. So they are following their particular Varna, Dharma, Varna's Dharma, either as Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, with the goal of ultimately getting Brahma Prapti, impersonal, uh, uh, realizing impersonal Brahman. Realizing means going and merging. Then what is the goal of this Daiva Varnashrama? Daiva Varnashrama society's goal is pure devotional service. Yeah, Shuddha Bhakti. Shuddha Bhakti is the goal of Daiva Varnashrama. And I said regular Varnashrama. Regular Varnashrama, they'll get Salokya Mukti. Salokya Adi Mukti in Vaikuntha. This is what they will get. That means they're not getting seva. They're not getting pure devotional service. They're not getting service. Pure devotional service they're not getting. That is not the goal. But they will get Aishwarya. They'll get Aishwarya, but spiritual Aishwarya, opulence, Sarshti, Salokya, Samipya, these liberations they will get. So that is why Varnashram is also of different types. We are interested in Daiva Varnashram. Now we are interested in Daiva Varnashram. We are seeing the connection between the Daiva Varnashram and Shuddha Bhakti. This is Shuddha Bhakti. This path is Bhakti. For you to enter into Shuddha Bhakti, what do you need? What do we need to enter into Shuddha Bhakti? Shraddha. Dhrida Shraddha you need. Dhrida Shraddha. So to get Dhrida Shraddha, once you get Dhrida Shraddha, what is the symptom of Dhrida Shraddha? What is the symptom of Dhrida Shraddha? When one has Dhrida Shraddha, how can you tell that the person?
Sharanagati.
Sharanagati. Sharanagati. So by Sharanagati, you can understand someone has Dhrida Shraddha or not. If you are 100% surrendered, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja, then now you can begin Shuddha Bhakti. But to come to that, you need to practice Daiva Varnashram Dharma. You have to practice Daiva Varnashram Dharma. So now let's read what Srila Prabhupada is saying with this background. You have to start Varnashrama college immediately, Srila Prabhupada is saying. Everywhere, wherever we have got our center, a Varnashrama college should be established to train 4 divisions. 1 class Brahmana, 1 class Kshatriya, 1 class Vaishya, 1 class Shudra. Not simply farming. Not simply farming and cow protection. We need a society with the 4 divisions of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, then the next question is, how will we get these Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras? So when Srila Prabhupada came, Srila Prabhupada started. Now the situation was, the whole world is simply filled with, actually not even Shudras, because Shudras are also part of Varnashram society. Shudras also are following their particular dharma according to Shastras. When Srila Prabhupada came here to the West, there was no Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They had no idea of Vedic lifestyle or Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna or what is dharma. They were completely sinful. So for you to start something, first of all, there has to be a direction. So Srila Prabhupada put his energy in training Brahmanas. From the lowest, he actually started training them in Brahminical duties. So one more point, in Daiva Varnashram society, regardless of whether you are a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, everyone will have Brahminical qualities. Brahmana does Brahmana's duties, but Brahminical qualities everyone will have. There won't be any meat eating, intoxication, gambling, illicit sex. These things will not be there. Even if you're a Kshatriya, for a Kshatriya, it is allowed, isn't it? We see gambling they can do hunting also. That means meat eating is allowed. Intoxication also they take, Kshatriyas. So if you see in a Karmi Varnashrama, you will see Kshatriyas will engage in these activities and it is okay for a Kshatriya to do that. But when you come to Daiva Varnashrama, regardless of whether you are a Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, nobody will engage in these sinful activities. That is Daiva Varnashrama society, Daiva Varnashrama community. But your duties, according to your particular nature, you will do the work that a Brahmana, the work which is assigned for a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. You will be doing that work. But what is the goal? The goal is to come to Shuddha Bhakti. So therefore, for us to train, we need a training center. Now, if we want software engineers, what do? There are so many institutes that teach the various, programming and, different things that you do, different languages. So training is required. You need a college, you need an institute, you need a school where you are trained, you receive those skills, and then you are sent to, first of all, after you get your training, then you work as an apprentice, and then finally you get your job and you work on your own. So if that is what is happening in the world today, whether you're a doctor or a lawyer or a software engineer or a teacher, first of all, you have to go to school. You have to learn, you have to study. Same thing applies here also. So for someone to learn the duties of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, first of all, you have to recognize what is that person's nature. That is also done in the school itself. The Varnashrama college only, that recognition is done. What is your particular nature? And after recognizing it, then you will be assigned. You'll be trained. First, your particular nature is identified, whether you are fit for a Brahmana class or Kshatriya class or Vaishya class. You will be given initiation also. Kshatriya initiation, Vaishya initiation, Brahmana initiation. And then those particular duties you will be performed. And once you're trained nicely, now when you live in a society, Varnashrama society, you will be carrying out those duties. So that is essential. Why? You shouldn't forget the connection between Varnashrama and Shuddha Bhakti. The goal is Shuddha Bhakti. Why is this essential? Because when you do your duties like this, you come to the mode of goodness. When you are in the mode of goodness, it brings you out of the bodily platform. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam. You come out of identifying yourself with this body. Then you can actually. So in Daiva Varnashram, it's not that you're only doing your karma. Along with that, side by side, you're also doing you're hearing Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. This actually builds your Shraddha in Bhakti, in Bhagavan. You're doing your Dharma, that brings you to mode of goodness. And side by side, you're hearing from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. That mode of goodness helps you to actually grasp whatever you're hearing from Shastra. It will help you grasp that. And by that, all the doubts in your hearts are removed. When all doubts are removed, now Dhrida Shraddha is formed and you will begin pure devotional service. That is the way. So that is why Varnashram system is important. It is like a ladder which will help us climb from wherever we are at now. It will help us like a staircase. It will help us come to the platform of pure devotional service. So that is why Srila Prabhupada is saying Varnashrama Dharma is important. Does anyone have any questions so far? And then we will continue reading. Any questions? Or
No,
any
Mata-
comments? Ah, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, this Varna ashram, so where we fall in, like which category we fall in as
We-
the Vaishnava? Like
Oh,
we are doing, I mean, I'm talking about we are doing sadhan bhakti as per our, standard of our ISKCON, as per Prabhupada instructions. So what we are doing, we are trying to do whatever has been, prescribed in our by our guru and senior Vaishnavas. So what we are, as we are in the grasta,
yes.
where we fall in, we are in karmis or we are impersonal. We are not, of course, impersonal. We are not, but we are our category falls in. What I want to know.
Yes, Mataji. I will show you 1 second. In the diagram, I will show you. So actually, there's one more below this, Mataji. Here, below Karmi, there's one more section. I didn't draw it, but I'll just draw it now in a different color so you can see. There is one more section here. They are called Vikarmis. Vikarmis, they don't follow any Varnashrama. And even if they follow, you can call it Asuri Varnashrama. Asuri Varnashrama means like, Srila Prabhupada says that everywhere you will find in this reading also we will see, everywhere you will find this division, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra division you will find everywhere. Brahmana means the head, right? The learned class, the teachers, right? They are the Brahmanas. And then Kshatriyas means the administration class, Kshatriyas. Vaishyas
Yeah.
means the production class. And then Shudras means the labor class. But that division is not being observed based on Shastra, right? You send people to factories and you make them work, laborer class, and you engage them in building these big skyscraper buildings. So they are also Shudra, you can say, but not proper Shudra. That's not even this Karmi Varnashrama. That is Asuri Varnashrama. You formed your own Varnashrama without following any Shastra. That's a different. So most of the society today, Mataji, is actually Asuri Varnashrama only. Nobody is really following the Shastric way of duties. What is the duty of a Shudra, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya? They are not following. So even if if you call that there is some Varnashrama in society, it is only Asuri Varnashrama. But also I said this division is based on the goal. So Karmi Varnashrama's goal is material advancement. Impersonal Varnashrama's goal is moksha. Daiva Varnashrama's goal is pure devotional service. So now, and also there is regular Varnashrama Dharma where they want to just go to Vaikunta where you'll be like, moksha. You'll go and or stay there eternally. What is my goal in my heart will decide where I am, really. Two things are there. That's why when you look at the definition of Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, Shuddha Bhakti definition, Abhilasha, right? What is my What is my desire? Anyabhilashita shunyam. Then second one is Jnana karma adi anavritam. Jnana karma adi anavritam. Anavritam. Mistake. Anavritam. Anukulyena Krishnanushīlanam. Anukulyena Krishnanushīlanam. This is called Bhakti Uttama, Uttama Bhakti. This is the definition of pure devotional service by Srila Rupa Goswami. So here there are three things. Anya abhilashita shunyam, jnana karmadi anavritam, anukulyena krishnanushilanam. When these three conditions are satisfied, that is called Uttama Bhakti or pure devotional service. So one thing is you must be doing anukulyena krishnanushilanam. You begin with this. So shilanam means activity. So here you are doing chanting, you're worshipping the deities, right? So direct devotional service to Krishna. So Krishnanushilanam would be Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. So devotional, direct devotional service that you're doing, whatever temple services that we may be doing, or even at home worshipping the Lord, right? So that is Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. Anukulyena means you're doing it in a favorable mood. You're not doing it out of grudge. You're not doing because I have to do it or angrily. My father is telling, my mother is telling, therefore I'm doing. Not like that. Anukulyena, right? Favorably. With Preeti, you're doing it. Krishnanushilanam. That is one condition. Second is this that you're doing, this work, it should be not interrupted by jnana karma. That's where we fall short, Mataji. Otherwise, if we do this if we are doing an anu, right? Krishna anushilanam. Anu means again and again. It's not that you do for 2 hours and you stop. No, you'll keep doing it continuously again and again and again and again. Either you will be chanting or you will be worshipping the deities or making an outfit for the deity or cooking for the deity or picking flowers or something. Directly you're doing devotional service. With what? Shilanam means either with your body, with your mind or your words. Not all three. It can be anyone. You can be chanting with your lips or in your mind you can be remembering, or with your hands you are doing something, but it has to be direct devotional service. When you do like this, and that is not interrupted by any other karma. Karma is what? This varna, dharma that you, bodily dharma that you're doing, karma, right? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, these activities are karma. My duty towards my family. That means this is on the bodily platform. This, I belong to this family, this is my husband, this is my children, this is my job, and I have all these duties that I have to perform. I have my responsibility. This is dharma. So this dharma, if this is interrupting your continuous devotional service, then the second condition will not be satisfied, so it won't be pure devotional service yet. We took Diksha, we are chanting, but am I continuously on that platform of direct connection with Krishna 24 hours? I will chant for 2 hours and I will go to office and do work, or maybe I will take care of my duties at home. I'm doing. That means maybe sometimes certain days I do continuously, maybe like, Pandava Nirjala Ekadasi, Janmashtami, like that, certain days we do. But this has to be continuous. Not that you do for certain days. For you to be able to do it continuously, you know what you need? Just like to run your car continuously, as long as there is fuel in the car will be moving. When the fuel is finished, car will stop. So similarly, this devotional service, continuous devotional service, it will go on as long as you have Dhrida Shraddha. When you fall short of that Shraddha, it will stop. You will take a break. You will do something else. So therefore, this Shuddha Bhakti, it's very, very rare. It's not a common thing. But what is your Abhilasha? That's important also. Your goal is what? Your desire is to simply please the Supreme Lord by whatever activities I'm doing. So first of all, that activity has to be direct devotional service. It should not be interrupted by karma, jnana, adi. Adi means anything other than devotional service, yoga, nothing else. Only direct devotional service. And that also without interruption. And whatever I'm doing, that should be done not because by doing this now I will get moksha, or my son will get a job, or whatever else. My health will be okay and all that. No. Anya abhilashita shunyam. Your only desire is, I want to please Krishna, and my constitutional position is Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. The constitutional position of the living entity is to serve Krishna, so I must keep serving. So I'll be falling short, but I will keep endeavoring. If that is your condition, that is why we cannot put a blanket statement and say all of us are in one category. We cannot say that. You understand? What is your consciousness? What is your endeavor during the day? Yes, we have all taken Diksha, or we are aspiring to take Diksha. We are all chanting 16 rounds. But look at the definition and see where do I fit. So we will see that maybe our goal is Anyabhilashita Shunyam. Yes, I don't want anything else. I want to get there. I want to get there. But still, I'm falling short in that also. That's my aspiration, but I still have other desires, right? So therefore, if you ask in these 4 types of Varnashrama societies, where do we fall? Karmi? No, we should not fall in Karmi. Karmi, when you will be a Karmi, before you get the association of a devotee, you will be in Karmi. Once you get an association, you will be here actually. This is our section. After we are supposed to be at least. This is where we all come. Because Karmi, when he gets the association of a bhakta, then he will start. Now he will stop eating onion, garlic, meat eating, illicit sex, all this he will stop, and he will start chanting. He will start attending classes on Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. So ideally, we are here, but the thing is, our karma is still not according to Shastra. That's the problem. That adjustment we'll have to make. We are still doing this karma here. Vikarma we are doing. We are here still, as far as work. For our family maintenance, whatever work we are doing vikarma. But our aspiration is we want pure devotional service. So we should be fully here. We should be here fully. Because vikarma puts us in the modes of passion and ignorance. And this passion and ignorance is, what it is doing is, it is repelling with whatever bhajan we are doing. It's pulling us down. That Shraddha, we are trying to build Shraddha by hearing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. Once a week we go to Sunday program, we hear, we get inspired. When we come back home during the week and we are working and everything, that Shraddha, it's like you take 1 step forward, you're pulled back by 10 steps. Again, you try to take 1 step, you're pulled back by 10 steps. That is our condition. So if we actually come to this area of Daiva Varnashrama, that means our work is also according to the 4, the Varnashrama system. Then what will happen is we will be in the mode of goodness. When you're in goodness, very swiftly, whatever you hear, in the mode of goodness, Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam, right? It is a fertile ground for knowledge. Whatever you're hearing, you'll be able to grasp the message right away. By that, your Shraddha will be formed, Sharanagati will come, and then very soon you'll be able to enter into Shuddha Bhakti and you'll start progressing. So now what our situation is, we are here as far as our working, etc., but we are here as far as our aspiration and, hearing association. But when you properly come to Daiva Varnashram society, 24 hours you will be in the association of devotees, because in that society, everyone is a devotee. Your lifestyle will be simplified. You will be working less time, you will be working for your maintenance. And even in that time, your colleagues and other people that you're working with will all be devotees. And more time will be saved, morning program, evening program, noon, because that Varnashram society, the center will be a temple. You will have a Goshala, right? You'll go to the temple, everyone will go to the temple. Everyone is a devotee. Together, we will all be trying to move towards Shuddha Bhakti. That is the vision of the Acharya. So that is why Srila Prabhupada, we see here, is saying, first thing, so he showed the problem. What is the problem? They will be embarrassed and harassed so much by this type of exploitation by the leaders. There's no sufficient rain, there is scarcity of food, there is heavy taxation by the government. Now, what is the solution? This is a very pitiful condition. In that condition, they leave their home. Maybe they'll commit suicide. They'll go to the forest, not being able to understand how to take care, how to manage the situation. In spite of working so hard all day, still they are not able to meet with the bare necessities of life. They'll become so harassed and embarrassed, they will leave home and go to the forest. It's very pitiful. How to save this society? Unless they take to Krishna consciousness, they will not be saved. And what is the solution? To give them Krishna consciousness, Varnashrama college has to be established immediately. Because in Varnashrama college, they will be given with the tools that are needed to survive in a society. According to your nature, according to your swabhava, you will get training as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And then you will have a society with the 4 divisions, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But everyone will be elevated to the spiritual platform. Important thing, it's not that, we have this idea, Brahman, Shudra means a low class. Everyone wants to be a Brahmana. Everyone wants to be a Pujari. But that's not the thing. Everyone will be elevated to the spiritual platform by the spiritual activities which have been prescribed. There is no inconvenience even for Shudras. Unfortunately, I think the time is up. But maybe we can read a little bit about the Shudras. In a Daiva Varnashram society, there's no question of looking down upon Shudras or anything. Everyone is going to be a pure devotee. Everyone is going to be a pure devotee. Directly, that is the lift, elevator. From a Shudra, you can directly become a Shuddha Bhakta. From a Brahmana, it's not that you have to first from Shudra, you become a Vaishya, Vaishya to Kshatriya, Kshatriya to Brahmana, Brahmana to Vaishnava, like that. No. In Daiva, this is external. Externally, bodily duties you will do as a Shudra, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Brahmana. But actually, the position is, by doing those duties, you will come to the platform of the soul, not just the soul, a servant of the Lord, a devotee of the Lord. So therefore, in Varnashrama, whether you are a Shudra or Brahmana, it does not matter. You do your particular duties and you will come to, and that respect will be there in society. It's not like the Brahmanas will look down upon Shudras. No. Everyone will look at each other as a Vaishnava and they will be doing their particular duties as required. So let me quickly read. So Mataji, Sneha Mataji, was that okay? Your question was answered?
Yes, Mataji, you explained so well. Otherwise, this subject was to me, it was very complex. And I used to really think, oh, like, so difficult to apprehend and, even conceive in the mind how this one ashram affects us. But the way you explained, there is a lot of hope that if we, with our sincere desire, and of course, under the Devotees Association and devotees of Mataji, your stature, who guides us. So, of course, there is some hope. I mean, I talk about me, then I came in Krishna consciousness very, very late. But I know it is this is a game changing,
Yes.
but I know it's my life changing experience for me.
Yes.
Because I do fall on because of my previous,
Samskar.
whatever sanskaras or prakriti, guna, this is. Everything
Yes.
affects you.
Yes.
But again, there is a kind of a hope there is kind of hammering to me my own self time and again. One has to do what our Guru and Vaishnav, senior Vaishnav guides us to do. So thank you so much. You made it so easy. It's simple to simple to. I mean, I could understand now. Otherwise, it used to go up from my mind
Okay.
how it will.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam. So
Dhanavad.
nice. I've come to my daughter's home in Abu Dhabi, and he's just come today from India.
Oh, okay.
But I just happened to see this your class. It's every day, Mataji. Or
Saturday, Sunday, Mataji. We do it Saturdays and Sundays. So tomorrow
Saturday and
we'll have
Sunday.
another session. Yeah.
Okay, it's the same time, no, Mataji?
Same.
I joined little late today.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I also actually delayed a little bit, but yeah, 6:30 US time. I'm in US, so Abu
Okay.
Dhabi time is afternoon, right? It's
Yeah.
afternoon. Yeah. Okay, so let us just Mataji read already before. I'll just go over. So this is a morning walk in Vrindavan. So Bhagavan Prabhu is asking Srila Prabhupada, are Shudras, so this is another topic, are Shudras supposed to take sannyas also? So now we have a Varnashram society. So do Shudras also take sannyas? Why? Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada is saying those who are Shudras should not be allowed to take sannyas. Only those who are qualified Brahmanas will be allowed to take sannyas. Because sannyas is an ashram. These are duties for the bodies, of course. But for someone to do the duties of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, you should have that particular, there is qualification. Those who have the qualification of a Shudra, they should not be taking sannyas. They should not be taking sannyas. Those who are Shudra should not be allowed to take sannyas. Only those who are qualified Brahmanas will be allowed to take sannyas. Then Bhagavan Prabhu saying, but Kshatriyas used to take sannyas too. Kshatriyas, some of them, not all. Then Gurudas Prabhu saying, Yudhishthir Maharaj. So Prabhupada said, they did not take sannyas. They left home. So what is that? That is Vanaprastha. Leaving home is Vanaprastha. Here, one more thing I want to tell you. Let me just read this part and I'll tell you. There is no need of accepting sannyas. One has to perform the devotional activities. That is real thing. Simply by changing dress, one does not improve. Unless he takes to the principles of devotional service seriously, there is no point in simply changing the dress. But in the Kali Yuga, they'll think, because I have changed my dress, I have become a big sannyasi. You see? Because I have got a sacred thread, now I am a Brahman. No, there must be regular training. That's the point. There has to be training. Then, yes. So what I wanted to tell you here is, simply by changing dress, one does not improve. You see, in a society, we have Varnashram society, we have Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras. So there are 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas. Yes? So you have, or maybe I'll write it different. You have 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas. What are the 4 Varnas? You have Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. These are the 4 Varnas. And what are the 4 Ashramas? You have Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. These are the 4 ashrams. So, in a person's life, so this is like in one person's life, okay? One person's life. he will go through these ashramas. But it's not that all 4 ashramas are meant for all varnas. It's not like that. Brahmanas will have all 4 ashrams. Kshatriyas will have 3 ashrams. Vaishyas will have 2 ashrams. Shudras will have only 1 ashram. Okay? Brahmanas will have all 4 ashrams. That means in Brahmana's life, first 25 years, he will be a brahmachari. Then from 25 to 50 or 26 to 50, he will be a grihastha. Then 51 to 75, he'll be a vanaprastha. 76 to 100, sannyasi. This is like, I'm just saying, at least for this, the numbers are given. After 50, you're supposed to give up your grihastha ashram and enter vanaprastha ashram. That is that said in Shastra. But one's life should be planned and you should live your life in this way. That first 25 years is brahmachari, next 25 years is grihastha, then vanaprastha and ultimately sannyasi. So in a varnashram society, it's not that all 4 varnas people will go through these 4 stages. No. Sannyas ashram is meant only for brahmanas. This is only for brahmanas. Kshatriyas don't take sannyas. Vanaprastha is for brahmanas and kshatriyas. Grihastha is for all 3. Brahmana, kshatriya, I'm sorry, not grihastha. Brahmachari. Brahmachari is for Brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya. That's why they're called dvija. Because unless you're a dvija, dvija means you get a second initiation, upanayana samskara. Unless you're a dvija, you cannot go to Gurukul and study the Vedas. So only dvijas can study. So this brahmachari ashram is meant for the dvijas. Dvijas means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. These 3 are dvijas. So brahmachari ashram is meant for these 3. Grihastha ashram is for all 4. So what is the only ashram that should, now let's see, please answer. What is the ashram that Shudras have? Which ashram do Shudras have? Only 1 ashram?
Mataji grihastha.
Yes. Vaishyas have which ashramas?
They have brahmacharya and grihastha.
Very good. Kshatriyas?
Brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha.
Yes. And Brahmanas?
All 4.
All 4. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. This is the system.
But Brahmana can become from brahmachari to sannyasi also. Like even Brahman, they from brahmachari they can directly go to sannyasa also.
Very nice. Correct, Mataji. So that's also there. Let's see this. So Brahmachari, there are 2 types. Brahmacharya is 2 types. Brahmacharis are 2 types. One is called Naishtika Brahmachari. And the other one is called Upakurvana. Upakurvana Brahmachari. So when he goes to the Guru's ashram, when he goes to Guru's ashram, because Brahmachari means you have to go to Gurukula, right? He goes to Gurukula at a young age, less than 7 years old. You have to go to Gurukul when you are less than 7, like 5 years, 4, 5 years, like that. And then in Gurukula, by the way, Gurukula should have a Guru Patni also. They will have a mother. It's not like it's just all men there. There will be a mother because they're small boys. So that will be balanced. So it's a grihastha usually. You will see Sandipani Muni and his wife. That's where Krishna and Balaram, they went for studies. Like that. Dronacharya also had his wife. So Gurukula means Brahmana will be there, Guru will be there, and his wife will also be there. So she'll be like the mother. She'll play the role of the mother for the boys. And then there is the teacher. He plays the role. The Guru is like the father, disciplining, and he's educating, training. So here in Gurukula, when the boys go for training, they stay there until their education is completed. So that will be up to 25 years, 20 to 25 years they study. At that point, they have a choice that whether they want to go and marry, go and enter, whether they want to enter Grihastha ashram or they want to continue in the Guru's ashram, right? You want to go home and enter the Grihastha ashram, or you want to continue in Guru's ashram as a brahmachari. So those who decide to remain a lifelong brahmachari, they wear saffron. And then they are called Naishtika brahmacharis. And those who, after graduation, so they also have a graduation ceremony. And when you complete your education in Gurukula, you have a graduation ceremony. It's called Snataka Samskara. Snataka. So where that you're actually, they bathe you and, nicely that, and they are, it's a celebration, right? It's a ceremony. And then, with, you're honored and, you are given your certificates and everything. And now you're prepared to go and live in the society. So they go back home and then they find a wife, they get married and they live as a Brahmana. Possibly start their own Gurukula or something if he's a Brahmana. Or if he's a Kshatriya, then he will do his duties as a Kshatriya. If he's a Vaishya, he'll be doing his duties as a Vaishya. So this is one type of brahmachari. This is called Upakurvana brahmachari, right? This one who enters into the Grihastha ashram, right? Or so they will wear white. They don't wear saffron. So this person was a Upakurvana brahmachari. That means he wants to get married in future. Even when he's living under Guru's ashram, he's wearing white. And he knows that he wants to marry in future. And one who wants to continue living as a brahmachari, he's called Naishtika brahmachari. He wears saffron. And even in this also, he can simply remain as a brahmachari all his life, or he can just take sannyas at some point. So from brahmachari, he can become a sannyasi. Whereas this person, after Grihastha, he'll become a Vanaprastha. And then from Vanaprastha, he'll become a sannyasi. Like that. That is the system. Okay. So, any questions on this? No questions. Okay. So now, we'll just finish this part. So Prabhupada is saying sannyas? No. Why? Shudra should be given sannyas. That's why I told you that. I showed you that to tell you that Shudras don't take sannyas. Shudras don't even have brahmachari and vanaprastha ashrams. For them, there's only one. And samskaras also. Accordingly, samskaras are also different. You have Garbhadan samskar, you have, Namakarana samskar, Upanayana samskar. So many samskaras are there, isn't it? Brahmanas will have all samskaras. Shudra has only one samskar. What is that? What samskara will a Shudra have? Because there's only one ashram, no? They have only Grihastha ashram. So what samskara will they have? Vivaha samskara. Marriage. Yeah. So Shudras will have only one samskara, which is Vivaha samskara, marriage samskara. So then sannyasis, can Shudras take sannyas then? No. Prabhupada is saying no. So Shudras, there's no need. Now, can Shudras become pure devotees? Yes. By doing their particular duties, they can become pure devotees. But do they need to become a sannyasi in order to become pure devotee? No, there's no need. You don't have to become a Brahmana also. Shudra doesn't have to become a Brahmana. Shudra doesn't have to become, a sannyasi. But Brahminical standard is required for pure devotional service. What is that Brahminical standard? No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. Not only that much, more. There's cows are protected, women are protected, old men are protected, children are protected, all these things. This is a Brahminical society. Brahminical standards must be there for everyone, regardless of whether you're a Shudra or a Brahmana. Everyone will observe Brahminical standards. But as far as your occupational duty, Shudra's duties will be, assisting the other three varnas in society. They will be helping them in their occupational duties. So if somebody is farming, you can go and assist them in that farming. Shudras do that work. Or different types of construction and all these work, making pots. Shudras do this type of work. But that does not mean that they cannot become pure devotees. By doing their particular duties, they can come to the standard of pure devotional service. So maybe we will stop at that for today, and we will continue tomorrow. So we hold this session twice a week, Saturday and Sunday, at this time. US time is 6:30 to 8. I started a little late. If you have a different time which is more suitable, just let me know. You can send me a text message on my WhatsApp if you prefer a different time. And if there is more students who are able to participate at that time, then we can change the timing. But because we are all in different parts of the world, someone is in India, someone in Abu Dhabi, someone in US, and in US also from different time zones. So I thought this is a time when at least people are awake, it's not in the middle of the night somewhere. So that's why I chose this time. But if you prefer some other time, just let me know. Otherwise, we'll just keep with this time. So tomorrow, same time, we will continue. Thank you all so much for your participation. Does anyone have any comments or questions before we end? So today's top, yes, Kalpesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhu.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, Mataji, when next time or anytime, if I able to join, I have been doing some little bit reality-based research on cow protection. So it's just not that I am very detailed about it, but at least I figure out the issue here with the cow protection, particularly not looking completely in the world, but focusing only on India.
Yes.
Because so, I mean, if you give me some opportunity to speak about it for 10-15 minutes.
Certainly, that will be very much appreciated, Prabhuji. That's what this is actually what we are doing here is we are trying to form a Varnashrama research team. Varnashrama research team means this is just the beginning. What I'm doing is like reading from speaking about Varnashrama Dharma is to give us some exposure to what all this is about and how to go about, what is the vision of Acharya. But what this should translate into is the participants here should pick one topic of their interest within this Varnashrama and do research, like exactly what you are doing. And after you do your research, you come and share it with the group, what you have done, present it to the group. And like this, each person does research in his or her particular field and they come and share it in the group. And in this way, we become equipped with the skills that we need for the future when we have a Varnashrama college where this can be taught. So this is very much appreciated. So maybe tomorrow you can present.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So we will end here. Thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveti Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai.
Jai.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.